Great player, good person as well. She's been great, and I'm really excited for her at this next stage in her career.
Caitlin Clark becomes the all-time leading scorer in major college basketball.
Another forever moment for this transformational superstar.
Did you hear what JuJu Watkins said about Caitlin Clark? The basketball world is buzzing. A 19-year-old college player is showing more leadership than league veterans. Watkins' words are shaking things up, and Angel Reese isn't happy about her defending Caitlin Clark.
After spending the last 12 or so months complaining about being sexualized, after spending the last 12 months complaining about the dirty messages that she receives from lonely men on social media, Angel Reese, she was given the cover of the winter edition of Vogue magazine.
Let's set the stage. The WNBA is starting to feel more like a drama series these days, and
Angel Reese, who the media wants you to believe is the face of the WNBA, when at minimum, she is the co-star in this box office drama.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark just earned Times Athlete of the Year, one of the most prestigious honors in sports, yet the league barely reacted. It's almost laughable. Clark's accomplishments are monumental, but it seems the WNBA is focused on the wrong storylines.
What would you say was the greater accomplishment? The cover of Vogue magazine or Athlete of the Year? Without a doubt, Athlete of the Year is the far greater honor. So I am incredibly confused with the difference in response to Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Let's be honest. Vogue is trendy, but Times Athlete of the Year is on another level. It places Caitlin Clark alongside legends like LeBron James. Reese's cover is a moment, but Clark's award defines a legacy.
Guys, tell me, what would be the bigger accomplishment? Landing the cover of Vogue or being named Athlete of the Year by Time magazine? Not Female Athlete of the Year. I'm talking about Athlete of the Year, which means if you won the award, you were competing with legends like Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Donnie Carr.
And here's the twist. The WNBA can't seem to get its priorities straight. They're hyping Reese's Vogue moment like it's the league's biggest milestone in years, while Caitlin Clark's historic achievements are barely acknowledged. It's almost embarrassing to see how the narrative is being spun, and JuJu Watkins isn't buying it.
Aside, I am happy for Angel Reese. Judging by some of her comments, Angel Reese dreams of being a fashion icon, which makes sense. I mean, seriously, what child grows up with dreams of becoming a dump diver in the WNBA? What child grows up with dreams of playing pretend basketball in empty high school gyms?
What we're seeing is a clear contrast in priorities. Caitlin Clark is taking the game to new heights, proving women's basketball belongs on the global stage, while Angel Reese seems focused on personal recognition. Despite Clark's historic achievements, the WNBA's response has been silence, almost as if they're intimidated by what she represents. Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent, but instead of celebrating her, the league ignores her. It's absurd.
So I am happy for Angel Reese for achieving her lifelong dream of landing the cover of Vogue magazine and being viewed as a fashion icon. I thought the celebration from the media was a bit strange. Some might even call it hypocritical.
So how did the WNBA react to Clark being named Times Athlete of the Year? They ignored it. No celebration, not even a simple tweet. Meanwhile, the sports world is recognizing Clark, not just among women's basketball players, but alongside the biggest names in all of sports. Yet the WNBA treats her like an afterthought.
Angel Reese was celebrated for landing the cover of some magazine that no one reads anymore, while Caitlin Clark, she was vilified.
You'd think the league would be excited to have a superstar who's single-handedly filling arenas with sold-out games wherever she plays, especially when most WNBA games struggle to fill seats. The contrast is huge. Yet instead of capitalizing on Clark's star power, the league seems to view her success as something to manage rather than celebrate.
This is how Caitlin Clark was treated by jealous players who directly benefit from her star power. It's also how she was treated by those in the media who also benefit from the drawing power of Caitlin Clark.
What's really going on here? It's almost as if the WNBA is afraid of success, especially when it comes from Caitlin Clark. She's drawing huge crowds and breaking records, yet instead of embracing it, the league seems determined to ignore it. It's a strange case of self-sabotage.
Caitlin Clark was pressured by the media to share her honor with unknown and undeserving WNBA players who contributed absolutely nothing to the elevation of the league last season.
And here's the twist. While the WNBA continues to drop the ball, other players are stepping up to give Clark the respect she deserves. Enter JuJu Watkins, the 19-year-old phenom who's wise beyond her years. Watkins openly praised Clark's influence, showing more maturity than the entire WNBA combined. Imagine that. A teenager recognizing greatness while the league itself refuses to.
I've been saying this for a while now. This is one of the main problems with the WNBA. They want to pick and choose which players are celebrated. They want to tell you who you should support.
Clark isn't just a star. She's a movement. She's transcending the sport and competing with the biggest names in all of athletics. But instead of celebrating her, the WNBA seems to fear her rise. It's almost laughable. While the league awkwardly sidesteps Clark's success, Watkins is over here dropping truth bombs that have everyone talking.
After reading her recent interview with Fox News, JuJu Watkins, she has earned some of my respect. After reading this interview with Fox News, it became abundantly clear that JuJu Watkins, she gets it.
So what's the WNBA's end game here? Are they really hoping Clark's influence will just fade away? Spoiler alert, that's not happening. She's bringing unparalleled attention to women's basketball, and the league's response? Silence. Meanwhile, players like Watkins are showing that the next generation of athletes understands the bigger picture.
Fox asked her about the influx of attention that Caitlin Clark brought to women's basketball. Here is what JuJu Watkins said. So many new fans in the sport can sometimes be a headache. Not everyone knows what they're talking about, but it's great for the sport. The fact that people are watching is enough in itself. We would like it to be positive, but it's not always going to be like that. As long as we continue to raise the numbers and viewership goes up, I think that's all we can ask for.
JuJu Watkins isn't just excelling on the court. She's teaching the league how to embrace success. At just 19, she's already doing what the WNBA should have done long ago, giving Caitlin Clark the recognition she deserves and showing that women's basketball belongs on the world stage. It's almost poetic. While the WNBA stumbles, it's the youngest voices who are stepping up to lead the way.
In the interview, JuJu Watkins was asked about negative fans, or as Angel Reese would call them, the haters. This would be the point of the interview where Angel Reese would clap back at the haters. What does JuJu Watkins do? She basically tells Fox News that she obviously wants fans to like her, but if they end up being against her, that's okay too, because at least they're watching. Notice the clear difference in her mentality compared to the jealous players in the WNBA. I said earlier, this young lady gets it. She understands the business of entertainment. Sometimes the people that hate you are the best fans. Why? Because they're the most passionate. They're the ones watching every game. Before Caitlin Clark, there was no such thing as crowds in the WNBA, unless you were talking about the rats in the rafters. For the past 3 decades, if you were one of the dozens of people who watched the WNBA on ESPN, you could hear the janitor sweeping the bleachers. That's how quiet it was in these high school gyms. This is how Caitlin Clark was treated by her colleagues and their pretend friends in the mainstream media. Watch it for yourself.
And I'm of the belief that she is now one of the top 15 players available. Even if Tarasi or whoever would not be there would be a couple of people like Enrique who you could put above Caitlin Clark. The problem here is, and what concerns me going forward, is those people on the fringe that do exist, that are in real life, not just internet trolls, politicians, pundits, and people of the like, who are using Caitlin Clark as an avatar to lash out at the people who they have disdain for, mainly the makeup of the WNBA, black women et al.
Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? What else are these women supposed to do? We are not every single game gonna revisit and retread this same tired ass rhetoric that all these girls are hating on her, and they need to be thankful.
You have to build a WNBA team. Who are you taking first?
Second page. Next question.
So if you had the #1 pick this year, you would take Paige over Caitlyn?
Absolutely.